Yes, we are live. So hello everyone and welcome to our webinar. Thank you all for joining. My name is Elena Grinyuk and I'm Regional Director for the Central Eastern Europe at the SME Banking Club, and I will be your host today. And the topic that we are discussing today is a digital lending for SMEs. And I will share with you some of the outcomes of our annual review of the possibility to apply and receive a loan fully online for micro and small companies here in the Central Eastern countries. And today I'm glad to be joined by Jiří Mizera, Chief Information Officer at Moneta Money Bank, and Petr Kabele, Senior Product Team Manager, Moneta Money Bank from Czech Republic. Hello, very glad to have you today.
Hello.
Yeah, so I will do some introduction and then Jiří and Peter will share their experience at Moneta Money Bank on the digitalization of processes for SMEs. So before we start, a very short organizational information from my side. So our webinar is planned for half an hour and we are recording this webinar. So right after we finish, you will receive the video of the event, and in the end of the webinar we're gonna have some time for your questions, so please type your questions into the chat. So let's go to the topic. So this autumn, during our webinars, we are focusing on the topic of the digitalization of financial services for SMEs, and today, as I mentioned, we are discussing the digital lending process. And I will share with you some updates which we see at the very moment here in the CE region. And also I would like to mention that this year, during our annual CE SME Banking Club conference on 25th of November, we will nominate and award the best solution here in the market. So yeah, I invite everybody to join, and because this year the conference will take place online, so please join us in November. And today, let's go to the topic. So during July and August, we at SME Banking Club were analyzing what banks and fintechs here in the region are offering to the micro and small businesses. And we looked in detail at the ones who offer at least an online application for the SME loan here. And the companies, because in some countries, some banks and fintechs implemented either some restrictions or stopped lending to SMEs, and that's why such banks were not included here into the study. So what are the opportunities that we see now in the region is, well, the main challenge that SMEs are facing were facing during the lockdown and actually after the lockdown period is that, first of all, the decreasing of the business volumes in a main part of the sectors, and second is the extended payment deadlines. And this caused to the liquidity gaps in the SME segment. And that's why now the access to SME finance in terms of lending or invoice financing is very crucial. And actually this quick path and easy for the SMEs processes for receiving a loan is becoming more differentiating factor than it was in normal times. And also these restrictions with the physical contact moved some processes to the digital channels. And also this PSD directive are giving some opportunity to maybe to do a faster underwriting for the SMEs. So if we look here, what we see at the very moment here in the region is that 18 banks and financial companies are offering some kind of digital processes for SME lending. The biggest number of the banks that are doing this we see now in Poland. The only one non-bank financial company that offers the fully digital processes starting from the application to the very disbursement is called OmniCredit and located in Romania. And the other financial company present here in the region called Lydia, active in Poland and Czech Republic. So they have, let's say, so we included them here but they have kind of partial digital process because the communication with the customer starts mainly by the email, and then the disbursement, the signing of the agreement and the disbursement is taking place online. So what are the main outcomes here is that 80% of the analyzed banks and companies offer their digital solutions mainly for the private entrepreneurs. So 80% of them are offering this to the private entrepreneurs, mainly via their website or via the online banking channels. And 50% is offering this via mobile applications. And 50% of the banks and companies are offering their digital processes for the legal entities. And 40% of them, and namely 7 banks and financial companies here in the region, offer fully digital process from the application till the signing of the agreement and disbursement fully online. And of course, this concerns the unsecured loans for SMEs. The other interesting fact that we wanted actually to focus and maybe to show is that if you go to the pages of the fintechs, of the online application is located on the home page. So this is no need to search for the application form. If we look at the online banking solution, so this means that banks is offering the loan to the existing customer. So it takes usually on average 2 or 3 clicks for the customer to get to the application form. And if we see the websites of the banks, so this is on average 3-4 clicks for the customers to apply. And actually none of the banks here in the region offer or has the SME lending application on their homepage. And also the interesting thing that we wanted to show is that, for example, the number of the fields that the SMEs have to fulfill to apply. So, and the average number is for the new customers 24 and for existing customers 16. This is actually, at least for the new customers, I think this remains a big number. So this is still can be a bit complicated for SMEs, especially for private entrepreneurs. So because, the more fields customer needs to complete, the more customers will get lost in the process and maybe will not finalize the application to the very end. And why private entrepreneurs? Because this is especially for them being difficult for them because they are used to, so they have user experience in different applications. And if they're used to, to buy something with 1, 2, 3 clicks, then having 24 could be a big number for them. So this is general overview that I wanted actually to show So I will share this presentation with all of our attendees. The more detailed study is available to our members. Next, actually here I'm inviting the Piotr and Yizi to share their process and their experience in the digitalization in Moneta Money Bank. And actually, why this bank? Because this is one of the 7 banks here now in the region that is having and offering digital processes for the lending and both for the new customers. So the process available on the website, and also for the existing customers that the process is available on the online banking and in the mobile banking. So you're welcome. I'm passing a word to you, and this is your presentation.
Well, so I will try to share the presentation from our computer because of videos included. So, well.
Yes, it's loading. Just a second. And while we are waiting, if anybody has some questions, so please type them even maybe during the presentation, to have then for us to be prepared and answer you very quickly in the end. Yes, now we see your presentation, so you're welcome.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon. My name is Petr Kábela, and I am responsible for product development for small businesses in Moneta. In the beginning of our presentation, I'm going to give you a brief introduction into who we are and what business we are doing, just to allow you to better understand our motivation and also our way, how we decided to go digital, which will be then in very detail described by my colleague Jiří Mizera, who is the Chief Information Officer in our bank. Moneta is the universal bank operating across the whole Czech Republic. We are a former GE Money Bank, and as for the number of clients, we are the fourth largest bank in the Czech Republic. And since the IPO in 2016, we are considered also to be the largest independent bank operating on the Czech market. What business we are actually doing? So our business is based on three pillars. The first is retail franchise. At the moment, we are serving 1.3 million retail customers. Then it's going about small business and SME banking. These two segments we consider together as commercial banking, and at these days we are serving over 100,000 commercial clients. This presentation will be focused on digital solutions for small business clients who are entrepreneurs and small companies with a few employees, and as according to our internal classification, it's going about subjects with annual turnover lower than 30 million Czech crowns, which is roughly 1.2 million euros. What is really important when approaching these clients in digital way is to understand the clients, and what they have in common is, and what is very important is they don't have extra time. They do different type of business, and they don't want to lose the time by visiting banks, looking for accounts, and to go through the whole process on branches. They also need access to some reserve for unexpected expenses. Time to time, they need some extra money to develop their business for investment purposes, to buy, for example, cars, equipment, tools. And what is the most important point, they want the bank accessible. It is very closely related to the first point, that they simply don't have time to lose, which should be lose in the banks. And how we decide to approach these clients and which solutions were developed for them will you describe now in more detail my colleague Jiří Mizera.
Okay, guys, happy to meet you. Happy to being here. I will actually describe to you the whole story of the digital transformation we did in starting from 2016 and still continuing, of course. These days, when I joined the bank in 2017, I guess, I was actually head of the digital for the commercial banking, and I'm actually very happy that Petr right now is heavily developing the business, yes, for the digital products. So how was the process in 2016? Simply, you have a plumber who actually is having some need, right? In this case, he wants to buy a new van, and of course there wasn't any kind of digital process, so he has to go to the branch. Surprisingly, sometimes the entrepreneurs are even happy to go to the branch because they just actually want to take the break. They want to discuss something with their banker, you know. They can be feeling even important, and they are for us. Yeah, so this is not maybe the biggest pain point. However, actually, if they will be immediately on the meeting, which is not always the case, then the whole process is really actually painful. Yes, because they need to come with the two latest income statements and also some other document and papers they need to bring from the government, right? Which usually on average means for them to simply go out and come again in a few days time, maybe sometimes in a week or two, and start the usual process, which takes actually approximately 40 minutes to 2 hours. Yes, depends actually on the complexity of the case. Then what we have started with, yes, in 2018, of course, we have started with the existing to-bank client, as Olena also mentioned. And simply, we are having two robust platforms. The first one is Smart Bank, our mobile banking platform, which is considered as one of the actually best on the Czech market, both the App Store and the Google Play, and also the, let's say, the Professional Network awards, etc. So on those platforms, we are offering, business loan, overdraft, and the credit card, which I will just show you the video. And on average, the clients are able to go through in less than 10 minutes, including the scoring. So you can see here this screenshot is from the internet bank. They can choose between the product. Then actually they are filling in the volume of the loan plus the maturity of the loan and some other parameters. They see the overview and they are basically done. Right now they will they will go to scoring, which takes usually 3 minutes the longest. They will sign the contract via the message, and they are done. Yes, during the day they are receiving the money immediately. If they are out of the business hours, they need to wait for the next day. That one was actually a pretty successful product, and it's still actually giving a lot of revenue. But we haven't stopped, right? And what we came with in 2019 was to attract the whole market for the new to bank clients proposition. So in this case, there is a cooker who is looking for loan. He can go to our webpage where he see actually all the attractive parts of our products. However, the issue is that we don't know him, of course. For the previous case, we know almost everything about our clients. So we see the transaction history, we see the IDs. So we are able to distinguish to whom we will offer the loan and to whom not. Here, of course, we are having much more impediments. So how we sorted out that was that firstly, we need to provide the identity check, where we are actually using quite fancy technologies of face recognition and taking pictures of the document, which are then via OCR solution measured by our underwriting systems. Then what we did was that we created the completely new behavior scoring card based just on the data from the internet. So we can call that big data scorecard, which actually is replacing the two tax income statements scorecard which we had previously. So for this one, you don't need actually any papers to upload or to scan. And finally, we need to have the second level of the authorization, which in our case is the credit card penny payment or the instant payment or the usual SEPA or domestic payment. I will guide you through the process very quickly. Oh Jesus! Actually, I didn't know that there is a music. So hopefully you can hear me. Okay, great. So I hope actually that you can hear me right now. First of all, you need to actually fill in the contact details. It's also used for the leads. And then we are actually requesting to the credit bureau the first request to see the actually credit history. After that, you are going to the identification. So as you can see here, the process is completely omnichannel. So you can finish actually on web to web, or you can go to your cell phone, and you are actually taking pictures of two documents, usually the ID card plus the driving license. Which actually is being done at the moment, and then you are going to the liveness, with what we are calling liveness, which is the face recognition of the customer. He needs to shake his head, he needs to smile. Then actually there is some time for validation, and then you continue, right? You are actually filling in some unfortunate governmental requirements. Which is actually, I would say, only pain point which we simply were not able to avoid. You will make the consent, and you are going to the scorecard, which, as I said, is actually using the big data technology around the internet. It's actually working surprisingly quickly. Either we are using AWS hardware. You've seen the summary of your deal. You are going through the contract. There is actually other unfortunate governmental questionnaire, and when you see the contract and we are going through, you actually sign with the penny payment, as I said. So after the fill-in of the penny payment, which is usually done very quickly, the customers are used for that from the e-shops, you are done, right? And this one is actually showing the onboarding screen for the bank, where we are able to fill in to sign in into the smart bank and the internet bank, and the solution is completely omnichannel on all the platforms we are having. So this is it, right? So I will pass actually word back to Olina, I guess, because we are ready with our presentation. We are actually happy to answer all the questions you are having. Thank you for the attention.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Actually, I'm encouraging everybody here to type your questions because we have several minutes, for the opportunity. You have the opportunity to ask if you have some questions. So my question is probably, I have two questions. So first, as I understand, this is purely your solution. So this is so these lending products are purely bank solutions, and you implemented this by yourself, or this is with the cooperation with some fintechs or third-party providers, let's say.
Yes, we are actually. It is. We formed. It was. So first of all, it was delivered. Let's say by the bank in completely agile way, by several squads. In I would say in the biggest peak, it was roughly 3 to 5 squads, I guess. Either we are having very similar solution for small companies, yes, which is actually only for existing to bank. At the moment, so it was the part of the delivery, and let's say the team was partly external, partly internal, of course, but I would consider that as the internal solution. Plus, we were using several fintechs, either let's say best of breed providers. So the scorecard was delivered by the PwC, actually with cooperation with our risk colleagues, of course. Plus for this scanning of the scanning of the documents, plus liveness recognition, we are using local fintech, who is having quite nice solution. This is, I believe, everything. Also, we were using some payment gateway. So simply, I believe it was actually quite a complex ecosystem of the providers. However, the whole delivery was managed by the bank, and the beginning of the digital transformation was supported by the McKinsey item.
Okay, I see. And here we have question from Katalin. How long was the implementation period for this project?
It wasn't really the project. Maybe I actually said it this way, but it was really the let's say the agile way of working. So, and it was very aggressive. So I believe the first release, we started with the existing to bank, and I believe first was overdraft and the business loan. And from the kickoff, which was 1st of March, I believe 2017, I guess, we were already selling to the clients in the summer. I believe August was the pilot, and then actually we continued. Then we have added the credit card on the same year. So let's say that the beginning of the 2018, the existing to bank solution was completely ready. And actually it was running full speed for the clients, but we were of course adding a lot of features like cross-selling features. We were adding other banners. There's a lot of actually fine-tuning stuff, and in parallel we have started with the new to bank, which was actually the holy grail, right, to attract the whole market. And this one took, I believe in reality, it was a year, let's say. We were already in some pilots, we were regularly testing with the clients, UX, UI. This one I'm not considering as the delivery, but I believe MVP of the new to bank took basically a year. I would say a little bit less, like maybe 10 months to 11, but let's say a year. So early 2000 or January 2019, we have already started the sale. And then we were actually gradually adding the features again. Plus, we have added credit card, if I can recall. Or the credit card was first. Sorry, first was credit card because we had a better opportunity to test it, and then we have added business loan. Yes, and it's still running. So we are actually still adding the features. Peter was just having actually the steering committee today in the morning, where I'm also involved, where he was just discussing actually how we are adding the guarantees for the COVID-19 situation. So it's still actually gradual development. Yes.
Which part? I mean, if you have for these products like overdraft or business loans, for which this digital processes are available, which part of the customers go through these digital processes, or this is the only one pass for the customer? So the customer can come to the branch and apply via the branch for such loans, and if yes, then what is the proportion? So which part of the customers goes via the digital channels, and which part of the customers goes via the branches?
Well, of course, like the demography or the values of the customers are, of course, confidential. So I cannot. Of course, we are analyzing how the portfolio of the digital portfolio is different from the let's say people who are rather going to the physical branch. So this one I cannot expose, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Okay.
However, all the solutions are omnichannel. So they are. So actually, the let's say there can be difference in the pricing, of course, always. But I would actually say that all the solutions are omnichannel. So you can start actually on the web and finish on the branch. This is something we are calling web to branch. Also, we are coming to the branch with the guaranteed offer. So you see on the web that you have already loan approved, and you can just go to the branch and finalize it in 15 minutes. But when you are going something we are calling branch to branch, like a traditional way of approach, you are actually going through the very similar process, which is just actually using the different front end of our branch system, because we are having unified front end for the tellers. So we use the same front end for them. And just to roughly say, I believe the fully digital way is actually oscillating around 20%. Let's say I would call that.
20.
So let's say 20% of our customers are using actually fully digital approach. But however, this web to branch is actually heavily used by our customers. That they are starting on the web, and they just from any reason want to finish on the branch. Yes.
Yeah, this was actually, we were discussing it at the beginning of this year, and like before the lockdown period. Actually, this was the average statistics here in the region, that 20% of the customers in the banks are acquired via the digital channels and 80% via the branches. And in fintechs, these numbers are vice versa. So 80% were going via the digital channels and 20% from some partners, because fintechs usually do not have any branch. But now during
excuse me, just to jump in, the acquiring, so it means the attraction is higher for us. Yes. So really we are quite actually specifically measures, and please don't catch me, because of course I'm just saying rough numbers. We are IPO, of course, but we are attracting much more customers using the digital channels. Just the very rough number of the full online should be around 20%, right? Depends on the product and segment and whatever.
Yes, as well. I think this numbers and percentage will grow.
Yep.
Because yes, because when we had a lockdown period, I think in some of the banks this was close to 100%. Because if the digital process is available, so and big part of the customers were afraid to go to the branches, so then the biggest part actually were moving to the digital channels. Okay, so I see that we don't have any questions from our attendees. So let's then close the webinar. Thank you very much for your time and for your presentation. And I wish you good luck for the development. And we will be following, and of course we will be in touch and publish all of your news and updates that is connected to the products and processes for SMEs. So thank you very much for sharing your experience, and thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.